Hey, Generation Iron fans, Nick Trigili here. This is another episode of Bodybuilding Coach, where we cover training, nutrition, and supplements. On this week's episode, we're going to talk about glute training. Yes, ladies. Yes, men. What is the proper way to train glutes, and what are they doing wrong out there? Okay, so when I first start this episode, the first thing I want to make clear is that there's three parts to your glute. You have your minimus, you have your medius, and you have your maximus, part of your glute, okay? The maximus and the medius are the really only parts that women should care about. The other one is more so to your hip, okay, which is the minimus. Ever since Instagram became famous and Facebook started it, women I see have been loving to put glute exercises out there for other women to see. And obviously men like to watch too. But I see so many wrongs. There's more wrongs out there than there is rights, ladies. Okay, calisthenics does not build your glute muscles up. Okay, there's particular exercise in the gym with weights that will build your glutes up. Now, most of the exercise you see on Instagram are wrong for a lot of reasons, because mechanically they can't flex their glute that way, and B, that the exercise they're doing is more of a calisthenic, like a stretch. It's not actually going to build a glute muscle that way. So what it takes to build a muscle: weight and resistance, right? And time of attention. If you're not doing any of those, and how are you going to build a muscle? Just like kicking your leg up in the air, or swinging it back, or taking a step to the left or right, or squatting up and down with no weight is not going to build muscle in your glute. It's not even going to tone your glute. If anything, you're just making yourself tired and you're burning calories, so you're going to burn body fat. It's not going to actually target the glute that way. So yes, you're doing it right by exercising, but you're not really prioritizing building a glute muscle. How to build a glute muscle: squats, lunges, weighted lunges particularly, unless you're doing some type of walking lunge like superset. There's hip thrusts, there's glute machines, there's hamstring machines, the basic stuff, okay? Rear deadlifts, things that actually build muscle like a bodybuilder, okay? If you want to build glutes, ladies, you got to work out like a man. And that doesn't mean you're going to look like a man, okay? You could do abductors, but sit on the machine, okay? You could do squats, but do a squat with a bar or a dumbbell, not air squats, okay? Or air lunges and the swinging kicks like we're in karate class, and getting your mat out and just do these movements. Like, then you have the bands, okay? I see the bands all the time. Yes, they're great, but they're not going to build a glute, okay? They're just there for mental reasons, to keep your legs together and keep them squeezing your glute more. This is for a beginner, okay? If you can't activate your glute, then you probably shouldn't be doing all these crazy exercises to begin with. The bands are not going to help you build a bigger glute. I promise you, it's a big scam, okay? You could do this on your own by just having your trainer put your hands here, or your friend, and keeping resistance so that your abductors are flexed. That's all it's doing, okay? And it's teaching you to keep your toes in line, your knees in line with your toes when you squat, not to concave your knees in and bend your knees in. So these are just basic things that should be addressed before you even get into the gym and get onto the bar or start doing weighted exercises where you can hurt yourself. The bands are not going to help you with better glutes, so stop following these scams that these other ladies are trying to sell you. The other thing is, glutes do not define gravity, okay? You cannot have a glute muscle that goes triangularly out and comes back in, okay? And a shelf, okay, like this, where the glute muscle goes up. Let's be realistic. A glute muscle goes like this, okay? Yes, you can have a little pop to the medial part of it, but for the most part, it's not going to go up in the air and come down, okay? So next thing is, someone's selling you a fake dream, okay? They either got injections, they got some reconstruction work, they got implants. They're doing something back there, okay? So most women you see out there don't fall for the gimmick, okay? They probably didn't get their glutes by doing, lunges, 300,000 lunges and step-ups and kickbacks with no weight on a mat on the beach. So please, even men, okay? I see men doing exercise in the gym, and I'm just like fathomed by it, okay? I don't understand what you guys are trying to accomplish. Yes, those are great for warming up or trying to get the body, at an elevated heart rate to get burn body fat. And yes, your glutes will come in doing that because you're just burning body fat. You're not actually targeting the glute muscle and building muscle there. If you ask any of these bikini chicks with nice glutes, or any men with nice glutes, how they got them: squats, deadlifts, lunges, and that's probably it. And some adductors, just to straighten up, to strengthen your minimus. Another thing is, use the machines properly. I see so many people trying to use machines for things they're not. like hamstring machines for hip thrust and abductors sitting backwards with your back to the machine and squatting down like I don't know what's going on. It looks like a circus act. It really does. This is not training, guys. Yes, Charles Glass has implemented things that we can do with machines, but those are biomechanics. Those are things that he knows from schooling, from years and years of knowledge, and have studied them because he actually makes machines for hammer strength, well, used to, and he used to design them, so he knows biomechanics and anatomy of the body. This is not for somebody on Instagram to go in the gym and go, hey, I can turn that into a glute machine. Hey, I can turn that into a hamstring machine. It doesn't work like that. Just because you think it's going to work as you feel it doesn't mean it's actually doing anything. The mechanics have to be proper. Remember that. If proper mechanics are not established during the exercise, you're not building muscle, okay? I can go like this right now and squeeze my butt cheek. Just because I can do it doesn't mean I have a glute exercise. I didn't design one, okay? So don't fall for it. Men, if you want to train your glutes, same thing. Stick to basic exercises, you know, abductors, abductions. There's glute kickbacks on the machine with weight. Obviously your squats. And always keeping your glutes tense. I see a lot of people squat and don't squeeze their glutes. That's the number one thing. When you're in the hole on a squat, you need to squeeze your glutes up to stand up, not just stand up with your quads. So think about it that way instead of just thinking about standing up. I'm going to stand up squeezing my butt, or am I going to stand up squeezing my quads? Or stand up squeezing everything, okay? And at the top of the movement of a squat, you can squeeze your glutes to get extra tension on them. You ever watch Kai Green squat back in the day? That's what he does with 500 pounds. At the top of every squat, he squeezes his glutes. Sits down, stands up, squeezing his glutes. That's going to build you a glute muscle, okay? So please, guys, if you have any questions, always hit me up. You know where I'm at Nick World Class on Instagram. If you like what you hear and like what you see, follow us at Generation Iron. Make sure you like and subscribe. And that wraps up this week's video on glute training. Thanks again. See you guys next week.